Alright, so we have the ability now to add to-dos to local storage. We're not seeing them in the browser yet, but we can see down here that they are in fact adding. Alright, so what we want to do is be able to loop through them and output them here into this list. Okay, so first let's go edit the HTML, because right now we just basically have a static list or static list items here. So let's get rid of these. Okay, so it should just be basically an empty UL. Okay, let me just make sure everything here is okay. Alright, so we have the UL has an ID of to-dos. Alright, so we can grab that. So if we go back to our JavaScript, what I want to do first is, before the document's ready, I want to be able to put the local storage item into a variable. So set to-do list variable. Alright, so we're going to use that json.parse function and local storage dot get item to-dos. Alright, so now we have this to-do list accessible to us. So basically what we want to do is loop through this and output them in the browser in that unordered list. Alright, so inside of the document ready function, let's first set a counter, because we're going to be looping through the to-dos. So I'm going to set a variable of I to 0. Alright, so next we want to check for to-dos. So we'll say if local storage dot get item to-dos. Okay, so if it's not equal to null, then loop through and output li items. Okay, so we're going to use a jQuery loop here, which I don't think we've done yet. Basically we're going to just say $.each. Alright, so we're going to say each to-do list, and we're going to say function, and basically we're going to pass in a key and value. Alright, so here is where we're going to insert the, actually, what is this? Let me get rid of that. This is where we're going to insert the to-dos into the UL, into the unordered list. Okay, so we're going to get the UL has an ID of to-dos. So we're going to grab that and we're going to say prepend. Alright, and you could also do append, but when we do prepend, it makes whatever was entered last show up first on the list. Alright, so that's why I'm doing prepend. Alright, and we just want to insert our li tags. Okay, we got quite a bit to throw on here. We're going to give each list item an ID, a dynamic ID. Okay, so it'll be task, and then task dash, and then we want to concatenate on I, which will represent whatever iteration it's currently on, and then we'll actually, yeah, we want a single quote here. Okay, I think that's right. Alright, yeah, so each list item will have an ID of task, dash, and then whatever number of that current iteration. Alright, so inside of the list item, we're going to have it's going to be a link. Obviously, we want them to be able to click on the to-do, but for now, I just want to put in the values. I'm not going to do the link yet, just until we get it to work. So basically, we should be able to put some JavaScript in here, and we should be able to say value dot to do name. Alright, so hopefully that'll give us a list with each name of each to do. Alright, and we want to make sure that we increment this, so we want to do I++, and then after the loop, when we're using jQuery Mobile and you're using list view, you need to do a refresh. So what we want to do is grab the UL, the to-dos UL, and we're going to say dot list view refresh. Okay, that's just that's a jQuery Mobile thing. Alright, so I'm sure we'll have some issues, but let's try it out. Alright, so we're not having issues. Looks like they're all showing up. Alright. And if we look at the local storage, alright, so there's only 2 to-dos in the local storage. Is it I must still have the static content there. Oh, I had to save that. Alright. Alright, there we go. So everything we have inside of that local storage variable is showing up here. Okay, so let's just test out adding a new one. We'll just say go to dinner on the 30th. Alright, and there's our go to dinner, and we have it so that the latest is at the top. So what we want to do now is just make these into links that go to the edit page. Okay, so back in our JavaScript file, and let me just, it's going to take me a minute to figure out what exactly to put here. So after the list, after the li tag closes, we want to open up an a tag, and we're going to give it an ID of to-do link, and then we want our href to go to the edit page, and let's see, we want to add on a data attribute. So we're going to say data dash to do name is going to equal basically the same thing, this value dot to do name. Actually, I can just copy it. Okay, so data to do name equals is that right? Yeah, alright. Data to do name. Basically, we're just passing this in so that we can use it inside of the function, inside of the edit page. And we also want a data to do date equals let's see, equals, whoop. value dot to do date. Okay, and then it ends there. And I think we can end the link now. Okay, so that ends the A tag. Okay, now we just want to put the ending A tag on. And let's see if that works out. Alright, good. So you can see once we make links, it adds these icons on. It gives us the hover effect. So that's good. If we click on it, brings us to the edit page. There's nothing in here yet. We'll be doing that in the next video. But I think that's good for now. Yeah, looks good. So in the next video, we'll look at updating these and deleting.